With Premier League football having returned this weekend, I thought that this would be as good a time as any to talk about my personal top 10 English teams to use in FIFA 19 career mode. In this video I'll be talking about teams from all levels of the game, from the Premier League right down to League 2, so regardless of what sort of team you're looking for in terms of size and stature, there should be something in this video to suit your needs. And I'll no doubt have plenty more videos like this coming at you in the coming weeks, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, smash that subscribe button for more, and if you do go on to enjoy this video today, leave it a like too. Like I said before though, Premier League action returned this weekend, and with the new football season having kicked off at all levels now, I just want to say a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring today's video. If you're excited for the football season ahead, and you're looking to stay up to date with all the latest news, action and scores, I definitely recommend giving this app a go. Yesterday my local team Maidstone United made the trip away to Halifax, and I was able to use the app to stay up to date with the latest action. The scoreline wasn't exactly to my liking, but never mind, you can't win them all I suppose. Through the app I was able to keep up to date with all of the World Cup action in the summer, and last season I frequently used the app to check in on the Champions League and all of the latest news from my favourite leagues throughout Europe. You can set up notifications for all of your favourite clubs, competitions and players, so every time there's something to update you on, you'll hear about it through the app. Personally, I find the OneFootball app to be extremely useful, and I make significant use of it every single week. So if you're also a big fan of football, then I definitely recommend giving it a go. It's completely free to download, and if you've not already got it installed on your phone, I highly recommend checking out the link in the description down below and giving it a go. Massive thanks to them once again for sponsoring today's video. Let's get into the teams though, and let's start out by taking a look at some quality League 2 options. For me, starting out in the lower tiers can be extremely fun and massively rewarding when you're playing a football game. At the moment I'm 10 seasons deep into a Football Manager save with Maidstone United, and I'm absolutely loving it. Dr Benji's Football Manager series with his created club Thames FC meanwhile is probably my favourite ever series on YouTube. He started out in the Isthmian League Division 1 South, and he's gradually worked his way up through the divisions. It's definitely well worth checking out if you've not seen his content before. He's a funny guy, and that series in particular is always full of drama. In terms of FIFA though, if you're wanting to do a Road to Glory career mode, then League 2 is currently as low as it goes. Hopefully they'll extend that at some point in the future and we'll get to play as National League sides, or maybe even be able to create our own clubs. But for now, League 2 is sadly the lower limit. By choosing a newly promoted side though, you can look to extend that club's momentum as you might do in Football Manager, seeking to secure a second consecutive promotion for the club. And of the two newly promoted teams in Macclesfield and Tranmere are the ideal candidates for this treatment in my opinion. They were the best supported club in the National League last season, and in fact they were the best supported team in the entirety of non-league football, so yeah, quite an impressive achievement. And their Prenton Park Stadium holds over 16,500. There's genuine capacity for this club to move back up the football pyramid. Back in the 90s, Tranmere were pretty close to becoming a top tier team. They never did quite manage to make it to the top level in reality, but there's certainly scope there to explore in the game, and they could be a very fun team to try and take to the top. Morecambe meanwhile narrowly avoided relegation on the final day last season, picking up a big final day point against the ultimately promoted Coventry City. They've been tipped to struggle again this season, lost 6-0 on the opening day, and there's plenty of work to do with this squad if you want to start moving Morecambe up the leagues. Morecambe's highest ever finish in league football came back in 2010 when they finished 4th in League 2, and if you like to have a challenge on your hands in career mode, then Morecambe could well be the club for you. And one final League 2 team that I'll be throwing into the mix here is Lincoln City. Lincoln City only returned to the Football League last season after spending 6 years in non-league football. In their first season back they made the playoffs though, with experienced players like Michael Boswick and Matt Green helping them to achieve this great success. With the signing of John Akinde, Lincoln have added another player to their arsenal with a great ability to help propel them forward. And with 2 wins from their opening 2 games, the early signs are certainly strong that this could be another incredibly successful season for the club. I wanted to provide a mix of different road to glory options, and in Morecambe you have a team probably destined for a season of struggle that could be quite challenging. In Tranmere you have a potentially mid-table team with the foundations in place to take them on to achieve bigger and better things. And in Lincoln City you have a side that's likely to finish near the top of the table, but nonetheless a team that you can still do some serious work with in order to help make them your own. Lincoln City have a pretty small squad, but the players that they do have available are very good quality for the level, and this is a club that should surely be striving to win promotion, both in game and in reality. Now then, although I've spent most of my life living in Kent, I was actually born in Oxford, have family members that support the team week in week out, and I've been to a lot of Oxford games throughout my lifetime. So Oxford United is a club that I've always had a lot of love for, and their kits this season are absolutely gorgeous. They've updated the badge, made the switch to Puma branded kits, and quite honestly, they're looking stunning. Given the lack of ability to customise kits in FIFA Career Mode, picking a team with nice kits can be a massive positive, and Oxford definitely have that box ticked this season. If kit customisation was possible though, I'd definitely be looking to bring these shirts back from the 1986 League Cup win. I like to think that this team was known as the Wang Gang at the time. Anyway though, it's looking like it's going to be a difficult season ahead for Oxford in reality, but that just provides all the more incentive to take control of them in FIFA, put the club on a more positive course, and take the almighty Yellows to glory. Alternatively, Sunderland could be an absolutely brilliant team to pick for FIFA 19 Career Mode. They've suffered back-to-back relegations and now find themselves in the third tier of English football. Their official stadium's in the game though, their team's still pretty good, and they're bound to have a very solid budget for the level. It's probably not going to be the most challenging of teams to take forward, but if you want to have a bit of fun and help return the club to their former glory, it shouldn't be too difficult at all to start moving the Black Cats back up the Football League system. And another great team to try and help return to glory is Nottingham Forest. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, Nottingham Forest were an absolute powerhouse of European football. They're one of the few teams throughout history to have won the European Cup in back-to-back seasons. But back in '99, as Manchester United were celebrating their famous treble, Forest were sadly saying goodbye to the Premier League, and they haven't made a return to the top tier since. 20 years on from their last day in the Premier League though, Forest stand a very real chance of returning to the top level. They made some big signings in the summer, adding further class and quality to the team, and along with the likes of Leeds, Middlesbrough and Villa, Forest have a pretty good chance of finishing in the top 6 this season, and potentially once again showcasing their skills at the highest level possible. And Norwich City is another solid option to try and return to glory. They lost a few players to Premier League clubs in the summer, including England under-21 international James Maddison to Leicester City, who looks to be a great player to watch out for in the future. Despite losing Maddison though, there are still some very good players that remain with the club, and if Jordan Rhodes can rediscover his best form whilst he's on loan with the Canaries, who knows what the club can achieve this season in reality. As a team for FIFA 19 Career Mode though, Norwich is a great club with a solid history, and the fact that their Carrow Road stadium's featured in the game is always something that helps sweeten the deal, adding an extra level of authenticity, which therefore helps provide for a more immersive gaming experience. Moving on to the Premier League teams now then, and for me, Fulham look to be a very fun team to test out in FIFA 19 Career Mode. A good friend of mine, Jared HD, will be doing a career mode series with them when the game's released in September, so definitely check him out if you're not already familiar with him. He's a Fulham fan and he should have a lot of fun with that series. Fulham signed some great players in the summer though, made some serious moves in snapping up the likes of Schürrle, Mawson and Seri, and their one-year loan deals for players like Fosu Mensah, Callum Chambers and Luciano Vietto could prove to be extremely important. I can see Fulham finishing about 12th this season, maybe even higher, and along with Wolves, these two promoted teams should provide for a very enjoyable gameplay experience in FIFA 19 Career Mode. And this might not be for everyone, but Burnley is exactly the kind of club that I personally love taking control of in Career Mode and Football Manager, a side starting out in the Europa League, where there's genuine scope to take this team to some very exciting places. And I'm not just talking about Aberdeen away either. Burnley punched well above their weight last season, finishing up in 7th position and therefore beginning their European adventure. It probably won't work out that way again in reality, and they're more likely to be battling it out in the middle of the pack with the likes of West Ham and Leicester than once again soaring into European contention. But the reason I like taking charge of a club like this in football management games is because the challenge is then on to try and maintain that kind of positioning, or maybe even take them on to achieve bigger and better things. If Leicester City can win the Premier League title, then why not Burnley? Finally then, and this is a team that I feel will be an extremely popular choice in FIFA 19 career mode, and that's Arsenal. In the last couple of seasons under Arsene Wenger, Arsenal had stagnated and failed to finish in the top 4. That's all changed now though. Arsene's packed his bags and left the Emirates, Emery's come into the club from PSG to replace him, and there seems to be genuine hope and positivity surrounding the club for the first time in a while. Arsenal pulled off some very good business in the summer, picking up players in important positions that needed addressing, including a promising young defensive midfielder in Lucas Torreira, a new goalkeeper in Bernd Leno, and some much needed defensive reinforcements too. Added to the positive attacking signings last season of Lacazette, Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan, and this is an Arsenal team that some people feel may even be challenging the likes of City and Liverpool for the title. For now though, Arsenal will continue to be a Europa League team. It just might not be for much longer in reality, and in career mode the team has some very solid foundations to build upon, so that you can see about turning Arsenal back into an English and potentially even European powerhouse. So those are my 10 picks of 10 fantastic English teams to manage in FIFA 19 career mode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below though. What teams do you have your eye on to manage at some point throughout the game's cycle, and what will be your first save in FIFA 19 career mode? Anyway though, thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you again next time.